Hi there, I'm John from CNCKing.com, and today we'll talk about custom stencil material options. Due to our on-demand approach when it comes to making custom stencils, we can literally make them out of any material. But generally it goes into two categories. The first one is polycarbonate. And the nice thing about polycarbonate is, as you can see, the fluxes. Now let's say you're making a whole bunch of, let's just say chairs, and you want to brand them with some spray paint for a special event coming up. The nice thing about polycarbonate is that even if the chair has a bit of a curve to it, you can press this right against it and you get a really nice result. Now the other end of the spectrum is plywood. Plywood is a really nice and strong material, very durable. And again, let's use the same application with the chairs. The problem with using plywood is that it does not bend. I could technically bend this, but then it won't bend back. So for this application here, for chairs, this one wins. Now you might say, well, what application does the plywood win? Something that's totally flat like a wall. This is really useful because it means that it goes right against the wall, and especially for larger stencils, it really works very, very well. Now if you have a one-time application for a stencil, plywood is a very nice cost-effective choice, as well as MDF, because once you're done, you're spray painting it and you just literally just throw it out or throw it into the fire pit. With polycarbonate you can technically do the same and throw it out. But the nice thing about polycarbonate is that it's very easy to clean. This one here is optically clear, which means that it's completely transparent. You can see straight through it. The reason why you see the yellowing, that's just the result of the laser cutting it out. And I also left the protective masking on both sides. So that's why you don't see completely clear it. And generally what I do when I ship these to customers, I ship them just like this. You might say that looks kind of ugly. Well, two reasons it doesn't really matter very much. One, it's a stencil, so as soon as you spray paint it once, all this ugliness is gone. But the very important thing about it is that let's say you use the stencil for a couple hours, you're doing a lot of really cool stencils on whatever material for whatever application. The first time you use it, this thing will get all gunky and full of paint. What you can do is just peel off the front and the back, and you literally have a brand new stencil to work for the next time around. When it comes to plywood or MDF, there's no real way to clean it properly. It's just really, again, a one-time application. Let's say you have a football field and you want to put the big numbers on there. Polycarbonate is not a very cost-effective way of doing that. But MDF or plywood is a very cost-effective way of doing it. And the added bonus of using plywood is that let's say you're on grass, you can just lay it flat on the grass and it'll stay there. While this polycarbonate is very lightweight, and if there's a breeze, it's going to fly away. In addition to plywood and polycarbonate, another material we make a lot of stencils out of is actually metal. Now in this case here, it's a very thin metal, but it can also be as thick as you want it to be. The main advantage of metal is that you can introduce a flame to it, which means that you can put this on basically any material that's combustible, and you sort of imprint the stencil right on it. So think wood pallets and woodworking projects where you want to brand your work. This is a fantastic way to do it. Something a lot of people often forget when it comes to making custom stencils for us to make them is that they forget that we have to hold inside parts. Now let's take a look at Royal. So the R has an inside little piece here. Try to get the focus working. There we go. So it has an inside little piece here. If you don't have a line or anchor to it, that little piece will fall off and you end up with a very big weird shape. Same thing with the O. If the inside comes out, you just end up with a huge hole. The Y is totally fine. The A is fine as well. L is probably fine as well, regular font wise. So whenever you have B's, P's, all those kind of things with inside parts, it's really a good idea to have them held by something, because when you're spray painting it, it looks kind of weird if you have like just a massive shape in the middle of a word that you're trying to read. So if you're looking for custom stencils, any size, any shape, any material, contact me at CNCKing.com and we'll make it for you.